Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on a Google form and making a Google form into a quiz or a test that you can have automatically graded online and get the results and the analytics sent to you immediately. You can use one of the templates that are available to you. I'm going to go with a blank one, en blanco, and just show you how easy this all is. So when I start with a blank grading sheet, the first thing I want to do is add a title to this. And the title for this is going to be test, the test of a test. And I add that title, and when I click up here, it adds it just like it does in a Google Doc. Right? So we have a test. And this is basically to create a survey. These are the form that I use when I'm creating a survey. But I want to turn this into actually a graded quiz or test. And I go to the settings wheel, the configuración here in the upper right hand corner next to the send button, and I click on that. And on the right hand side, I click on, first of all, I want the person to get a receipt. So this is collect email addresses from the people who are taking it. Yes. Always I want to do that. I also want to limit the person to one answer only. I'm also limiting the people who can answer that. And remember, this is one of the few places in Google where you actually must hit save before you move on. And again, I'm going to go up to the configuration wheel, the settings wheel, and I'm going to go to cuestionarios, which seems a little odd, but this has a name in Spanish. I would like it to say exam, but that's not what they've chosen. And I turn this on, and it turns it into a graded exam. So the person taking the test can see their questions, the questions they got right, and any punctuations that I've done. Again, you have to hit save. And so now I'm going to add a question. And I'm going to suggest as you're doing this, if you're doing this online, that you do this during your protected sessions, and you do this with 4 questions only. 3 multiple choice and 1 short answer question. So when it says a question without a title. Let's say question number 1. We're not going to write in a question. I'm just going to put that in there. Varias opciones is the multiple choice one. Option 1 is going to be yes. Option 2 is going to be no. Option 3 is going to be maybe. And option 4. And I'm just scrolling through those with the enter key, with the return key, and was I do not know. I don't know is question number 4. Okay, so here are all my answers. I'm going to make it obligatory, make it a required one, and here this says answer key. And when I click on this, I can give each question a value. I'm going to give each question a value of 1. Okay. Then I'm also going to choose the correct answer. The correct answer is no, and that lights up. And listo, ready, save. Remember, you got to hit save here. And now we know what the right answer is. So that when the students fill out the question, if they choose anything other than that question 2, it will mark it as wrong. It will grade it for you. Now this plus sign here in this column will give us and add the question. So this is question 2. Question number 2. Again, once I do that and I go down to option 1, I click on it. I'm going to write yes. Then I hit the space bar. It goes to no. Then I'm going to do maybe for question 3. And I don't know for question 4, etc. Right? Again, we go down to clave de respuestas, answer key. We set the number of points, 1. And this one, the answer is maybe. And again, listo, which I guess would translate into save, and we've saved it. Okay? We've turned on the obligatory question. They have to answer this one. And then I add a question 3. Again, obviously, I'm doing this for the purposes of the exercise. Question 1, yes. Question 2, or answer 2, I should say, no. Option 3, maybe. Option 4, I don't know. Down to the answer key. Point 1. Oops, something's happened. I need to go back. No, I don't. Okay, it's various options. You can see that each question is various options right here. Multiple choice in English. Multiple choice question, MCQs, they're calling them in Britain now, I see. Remember to turn this on, that they have to answer. And then our fourth question, we're going to change the type of question here. And look at all the different options we have. We can have a short answer, a paragraph. If you want them to be able to choose multiple answers, you could have boxes. You could have this would be if yes, then no. You could add a file to a question if you want them to look at something. And these are all the different things you can add to your questions. But we're going to go with a paragraph answer here. And this is question 4. And how many points do we want question 4 to be? Let's say we want question 4 to be 3 points. And this will separate, the winners from the losers on your test. If you're going to read a longer answer, you make a requirement. You can tell them what the answer is. There's no way to add a correct answer because what it's going to give you is a place for them to write the text. We're going to make this obligatory too. Now we have a 6-point quiz. Now when you scroll back up to the top of your test and you want to see what it looks like, or let's say you want to add some nice heading, some nice header to it, you can choose an image from the illustrations, work and school, the illustrations. Let's have a barbecue. Insert that at the top. It'll change the color coding. We're flipping burgers here, and you X out of that. And let's say you want to see this before you send it. So this is what your students will see. When you click on the little eyeball, this is what they'll see. You can see question 1 is obligatory, question 2 is obligatory, question 3 is obligatory, as is question 4. And then you can send it out. Now you can load this. I'm going to go back to the test, and you can make a copy of it, or you can get the link for this. By clicking on this one, clicking on this, obtener el enlace, you get the link down here. Obtain the link, copy the link, and now you can paste this into your Google Classroom, your test. What was that? The whole process here took 7 minutes, 8 minutes to create the video. If it's 8 minutes to create the test, and it's automatically graded for you. Ready, set, go.